session 4. So let me see your homework and how you did with practicing at home. First, let me see your chart of your daily log. Okay, and it looks pretty much the same as it has before. Okay, and then you have this. You spent some time not checking, right? So tell me how this happened. Okay.
Well, I got home from work and I walked in. My husband was watching TV. I went around, I locked all the doors, and I sat down and tried to distract myself and watch TV with him and not go and check again.
Okay.
The next 2 times.
And like I asked you, did you take your suds level every 10 minutes? So what did it start out?
It started out as an 80.
Okay. And then what happened after 10 minutes?
After the first 10 minutes, it went up to 85.
Okay, because you were feeling that stress and you really wanted to go check the doors,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and then what happened? What happened at the every 10 minutes increments after that?
It gradually started going down.
Okay. So you didn't go check the doors.
Right.
Okay. So, and that's sort of the way it went with this, right? And this was daytime with your husband at home. Okay. Because tomorrow when you do this again, we'll have you go up to the next level on the hierarchy.
Okay.
With the next time your husband's not at home. We want you to do it. So maybe if he's out of the house or something, you'll want to do it with daytime when he's not gone.
Okay.
And see how it goes. Okay. You want to practice, and we're going to gradually get you to nighttime. Okay. So let's talk about imaginable exposure that we're going to do here in session. And I have we're going to talk about a script, and I'm going to audio tape a script for you to walk you through it, so that when you're doing this practice at home, you're going to continue your in vivo practice, real life practice. Then you're also going to do this imaginable exposure, okay, every day too. And you're going to use the audio tape and listen to it, and then imagine that this happened and see where your anxiety level, record the SUDS level, okay? So let's look at, we're going to start recording the hierarchy with your husband at home. So let's talk about what I want you to do is I want you to take a deep breath. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to want you to close your eyes. Okay. And I want you to take me through, like, start at you've gotten off work. Okay. And you arrive home, and what you do. Okay. Okay. And then, but you don't do your checking. You do the one-time thing, and you don't check. And I want you to relay to me that the worst possible thing happened. Okay. Your greatest fear happens. Okay. I want you to talk me through that and talk yourself through it. Okay. So get me at your house now. Close your eyes, and you can lay your head back if you want. Okay. Now tell me about getting home from work.
I get home from work and I pull in the garage. I get out, I lock the car, and I open the garage door, and then I shut the garage door and watch it go all the way down. And I lock that door, and then I go through the house and I make sure all the other doors are locked. And then I put my stuff up and sit down and watch TV with my husband. And
okay, so y'all are watching TV, and it's daytime.
Yes.
And your husband's there. Okay, so what is, and you've only checked the doors once. Okay, tell me the worst possible thing that could happen.
Someone comes through the back door, it got unlocked, and they come through the back door, and they tie us up, and they take all of our stuff.
Okay, and tell me how that feels.
Very anxious and scary.
Okay, tell me your SUDS level right now.
Probably 100.
Okay, so very high. Okay, so what happens now once you're tied up?
They took all of our stuff and left.
Okay, and then what happens?
the police come and they take the report. We're sitting on the couch.
Okay, so as you think about that, the police are there, they're there taking the report and everything. What's your SUDS level now?
Maybe in 80, 75.
Okay, so what happens after the police take the report?
We try to figure out what we're going to do next and how we can better secure the house.
Okay, tell me how that feels.
It makes me feel better that we have a plan.
Okay, and what's your SUDS level now as you think about that?
Maybe 60, 50.
Okay, so you're thinking through that. Okay, now let's talk about that. What is your, right this very minute, as you're thinking about that, what is your SUDS level?
Maybe 50.
Okay, so it started out, what, at 80,
Mm-hmm.
and then it went to 100, and then it started dropping down, and now you're at 50?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that, how that happened, okay? So, do you see how you imagine the worst possible thing to happen?
Mhm.
You've been fearing that worst possible thing
Yes.
all this time, but now that you imagined it, like you were living it, it doesn't seem so bad, does it?
No.
It's not as anxiety provoking. It's sort of like that whole analogy of watching a scary movie. You know, the first time you watch it, it's really scary.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you watch it a couple more times and it's not so scary. And then maybe you've watched it 100 times and it's not scary at all because you know everything that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, even though it's bad, what happens, you have made yourself face it, so the anxiety is not so high. Okay?
Okay.
So what we're going to do is this next week, keep doing your self-monitoring work
Okay.
every day, your diary, okay? And you're going to practice this imaginable exposure like we just did. And I recorded a script for you in
Mhm.
case you needed it so you can listen to it and it'll walk you through that whole process
Okay.
of what happened, okay? And then you're going to, just like you do for your exposure homework, you're going to have an imaginable exposure homework form and you're going to list your SUDS level on there,
Okay.
okay, as it happens. You're also going to continue to practice this in vivo exposure, okay, so continue to do it. That's why we say, you know, you're probably going to have to allow 2 hours for this, to do this where you're not checking the doors again, and then where you're imagining the
Okay.
worst possible thing happened, okay? So, and of course, I will call you on Friday to see how you're doing, okay? And this is good that your husband is there with you right now. I mean, during the day, and you're imagining this, and he will be there with you, because he'll be like, if you get feeling really anxious, he can be supportive for you. That's why
Okay.
it's really good that you share all this with him, so that he can be supportive for you and help be there for you. Sort of like I'm with you in therapy, he can be with you there at home while you're going through this, okay? So do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, so next time we'll talk a little bit more about this, and we will check your homework and see how you're doing.
Okay.
And then we'll probably schedule some